Welcome to Science Store online classes.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Welcome to all of you once again to the physics classes. We are talking about NEET CET classes for the competitive exams, and today we are going to begin with the new chapter, that is semiconductor electronics. Semiconductor electronics, all the things generally for the board exam already we have discussed, and all of you have gone through the classes. Now at the synopsis part, when we are going to discuss in this class, we are going to talk about generally or roughly some of the topics which are included for your competitive exam. Okay, after that, same way we are going to talk about the questions. Now semiconductors, mainly only about semiconductors we are going to talk. Okay, so when you talk about semiconductors, there are two again types of solids based on the conductivity we are saying. One is conductor, another one is semiconductor, another one is insulator. Now what do you mean by conductor? Conductors are the metals which are having high conductivity, means there are a number of free electrons are there. Generally in an atom, solid means what? There are in two types of solids are there. Okay, crystalline solid and amorphous solid. Crystalline means which is having a specific structure, amorphous which is not having. And what happens in the crystalline solid or generally in the solids, orderly atoms are arranged, all atoms will be having one or two free electrons. What happens when you bring it to the room temperature, most of the loosely bound electron will freely floating in that metal surface, but that won't be having any proper direction. Now what you will do for the conductor, you will give any electric field. Now you are going to direct it to the particular direction and you are getting current. That is what happening in the case of conductors, and that everything, maybe the physics behind about that you have studied in the case of current electricity, right? Now we are going to talk about semiconductor, what actually the special thing we are going to study, what actually the merits of the semiconductor over conductors, because vastly everywhere semiconductors are using today. Okay, so that we are going to study, and in that about competitive parts we are going to study, because all the applications and all we have already studied in our board classes, right? Okay, now this is semiconductors and this is conductor, and insulators are having no free electrons. Okay, there is no free electron, all electrons are fully paired in the outermost shell, and to convert that insulators into conductor, large amount of energy is needed to remove that. But semiconductors, not like conductors, not even like insulators. What happens is they are having conductivity lies in between conductor and insulators. Conductor and insulator, that is semiconductors. So generally there are different types are there, several types are there. We are mainly concentrated with the silicon and germanium. Those are elemental semiconductors. Now what actually these semiconductors? Semiconductor actually having equal number of holes and free electrons, I can say. So there are two types of semiconductors. One is intrinsic semiconductor, another one is extrinsic semiconductors. Okay, so what is intrinsic? So I said silicon and germanium are the purest form of elements you are going to get. Those are intrinsic semiconductors. Those are not at all useful. We are making it useful by converting into intrinsic into extrinsic. Now how we are going to convert? We are going to discuss that. Before that, intrinsic semiconductor, in that you will be having holes and electrons in the same manner, and at the absolute zero temperature, that is 0 Kelvin absolute temperature. Okay, 0 Kelvin, it will be 0. What is that? Conductivity is 0. Now if you increase the temperature, what happens? So crystal structure will be like this. One electron, because of the temperature is enough sufficient to remove that electron from any one of the silicon atom. It will come, so one hole is created, means vacancy is created, that electron is also got. Again, if you increase the temperature, means one more electron may come out, so one vacancy is created, one electron. So holes and electrons are equal. But that is not a thing, right? Because generally we want in the room temperature, I have to increase the temperature and I have to make them, electrons has to make them to available for the conduction, means it is not happening. It is not a, practical process. Okay. That's why what we will do, we will dope, that is one method we will call, right, doping, that is nothing but we will add impurities. So by adding impurities, what we will get? We will get extrinsic semiconductors. Now what type of impurities are there, and what is the two types of extrinsic semiconductor? Okay, that is, one is p type, another one is n type. P type means positive charges are more, n type means negative charges are more. Now silicon means generally tetravalent elements, it is, means 4 electrons are shared with the another 4 atoms. Now what I will do, you will if it is a purest form, you will increase the temperature, means it will go out and a vacancy is created. Again you increase the temperature, means one more silicon is there, 4 electrons are paired with other 4 atoms. Now again if you increase this, means hole is created. So that is what happening in the intrinsic semiconductor. Now what I will do, I will remove this, means for 10 to the power 7 atoms, 1 atom you are going to replace. 10 to the power 7 atoms are there, in that one silicon you are going to replace, and you are going to replace with the trivalent elements or tetravalent elements. Trivalent elements or tetravalent elements. Trivalent means only 3 electrons are there, means 1, 2, 3, 1 hole is there, 1, 2, 3, 1 hole is there, like that. So out of now 10,000 silicon atoms I have, what I will do, 7 atoms or maybe 700 or 70, the ratio is there, 70 atoms I am going to remove that silicon, I am going to replace with the trivalent elements. So what are the trivalent elements? Okay, isn't it? So that you have to replace, so that holes I am going to get. Holes means positive, electron is not there, that is a positive case. So positive charges are more here. How we are going to get? By adding impurities. Intrinsic semiconductor, by adding impurities we are going to get 2 kinds of semiconductor, one is p type, another one is n type. Adding impurities to convert into p type and n type, we will call it as doping. Okay, so to form p type of semiconductors we are adding trivalent elements, to form n type of semiconductors we are forming pentavalent elements. Okay, so 5 electrons, pentavalent elements. Now again silicon is there, 1, 2, 3, 4, that will be removed and some pentavalent elements it added, means here. Now what happens, 4 electrons, it requires only 4 electrons. But now what you are going to do, 5 electrons you are adding, no, one more extra electron you are going to get, that will be added. Now see, it is not needed that you have to increase the temperature. I have doped with the trivalent and pentavalent impurities. What happens, one extra positive charge, one extra negative charge we have got. Since negative charges are more here, we will call it as n type. Since positive charges are more here, we will call it as p type. Okay, so that becomes in the room temperature, not into room temperature, generally you will be having more charges, and that will be useful for us. Now since the positive charge here you are going to get, and electrons are donated here, no, by the tetravalent elements, pentavalent elements, it is given. Okay, now this is called acceptor impurities, this is called donor impurities, because one more extra electrons are there. Okay, one more electron it can accept. Okay, 4 has to be there, but it is only giving 3, one more it can accept, that's why it is acceptor impurities. Another word, it is called donor impurities. Okay, so what are those donor impurities, what are those acceptor impurities, and what are the examples for that, those are all you should know. Okay, for the trivalent impurities maybe, or for the pentavalent impurities. Before that, what actually that before that, if the semiconductor means, we are writing actually the energy band, right? So when the solid is going to form, so this is how earlier I said that intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors are formed. So intrinsic means what, extrinsic means what, doping means what, what are the trivalent elements, what are the pentavalent elements, what do you mean by doping, what do you mean by donor impurities, what do you mean by acceptor impurities. These are all things you should know. This is what we have discussed now. Okay. Next, see, energy band will come. Now already in the chapter atom nuclei we studied that there is energy for each individual electron when you are going to get in different region or the order, right? That energy diagram is there. Now if you write down for conductors and if you write down for insulators and if you write down for semiconductors, so we are going to get, see, we have valence electron. Valence electron means outermost electrons. Some electrons are having higher energy and they will be getting for the conduction electrons. Now what happens, this energy means energy gap, total energy. How we are going to get the energy band? See, we know that for an electron different energy level is there. Now all the atoms in a solid, they will be together. Now what happens, different electron of this atom, the electron of another atom, electron of one more atom will be together. No, they will interact. They will interact and one band is formed in such a way that, band in the sense that energy band, it's the number of values. Okay. So what happens, some amount of energy, say for example at the range of 2 eV to 3 eV, if I give those electrons, that is only conduction electron will be conduction electron lies in that band. This we will call it band or range. We will call it as range. Okay. Now say for example 4 eV to 5 eV, if I give search the electron, means those are all comes in valence electron. Valence electron comes in this energy level. Okay, that's why this is one example I have given. If suppose a solid is there. Okay, if I suppose give the energy 2 electron volt to 3 electron volt, and that time that is responsible, that energy is responsible only for the conduction electron, means this energy range becomes conduction band energy range. If suppose 4 electron volt to 5 electron I give, and this this energy corresponding to only for the valence electron, this becomes valence band or energy level. Now there is a range, there is not particular 5 electron volt, 6 electron volt, not like that. There is a range, that is why we will call it as a band of energies. But what happens in the case of conductors, they both will, they will merge like this, because means valence electrons also available in the conduction band. And if I calculate, say for example 2 electron volt to 3 electron volt for conduction band, and if I calculate for say 2 electron to 5 electron volt for conduction electrons energy, okay, for conductors, and 4 electron volt to 6 electron volt for the valence band. Now see, 4 to 5 range comes, 4 to 5 conduction electron also comes, valence electron also come. That's why they merge with each other, no, like that it is. So valence electrons also available for the conduction, and there will be free electron, conduction electrons also will be there. That's why there is no energy gap. You did not to give some extra energy to remove the electron for the conduction process. But whereas in the case of insulator, valence electrons will be completely filled, and there is no electrons in the conduction band, and there is a huge energy gap between them. Now I have to make insulator as a conductor, means I have to bring the electrons or the fully fixed electron take out, and I have to make them to available for the conduction process. That is a tedious task, and more energy I have to apply here. This is the energy difference. That's why they are insulators. Now in the semiconductors, very less energy gap, that is nearly less than 1 eV. Now what happens? The normal room temperature enough capable to bring the electrons from the valence band to the conduction band, and because conduction band you are getting electrons, you can make it as a conductor. And speciality is that when the temperature is increases, conductivity of the semiconductor increases, whereas the temperature is increases. In the case of conductor, the conductivity is decreases because of the random motion. In the current electricity you have studied that. Okay. Here this is the thing, and again I have to increase the efficiency of the semiconductor, means that's why I am using doping and I am increasing the electron and hole intensities. In the case of extrinsic semiconductor, by converting that intrinsic semiconductor into extrinsic semiconductor, I am using that, and all the devices in the semiconductors are which is formed because of the extrinsic semiconductors, and large number of charges are available there. This is what energy band. So what you will get in the case of energy band, conceptual questions you may get, and what is the range of energy bands, all those you are going to get. Okay. So for the energy gap for the germanium is 0.7 electron volt. Okay, for silicon 0.3 electron volt, all those things data. So NCERT textbook, the tables are given, the tables you must go through it. Okay, that data are very important, and which are trivalent impurities you are going to add, which are pentavalent impurities you are going to add. This must be you should know. Okay, and all those data you should know, that is very important. We were talking about semiconductor electronics, and in that we were talking about the little bit concept of competitive exams. Already we have reached by discussed that yes, it is there are conduction band, valence band, electron forbidden energy gap, the gap between conduction band and valence band, all those things, and also we have discussed the energy levels of for germanium, for silicon and all. Okay, so that energy levels which is given in your NCERT textbook for all the semiconductor, much of the semiconductors or the composition of the semiconductor, there is only elemental semiconductors are there, germanium and silicon, but for all germanium and silicon there, but compound, other compound semiconductors are there also, it is given, you have to go through it, one thing. And the second thing, we were talking about energy level. For the conduction band, energy level is there, some energy is there, valence band electron energy is there. We have a special energy level called Fermi energy level. That Fermi energy level is nothing but at absolute temperature, means 0 degree Kelvin, what is the maximum energy, the highest energy level which electron can occupy is called, not at 0, at any room temperature maybe it is, but at highest energy level it can occupy, that is called Fermi energy level. Okay, and after that you must know that is trivalent impurities and tetravalent impurities. Trivalent impurities are aluminum, indium, gallium. Okay, and pentavalent, not tetravalent. Pentavalent impurities also you must know it. Okay, like phosphorus, for N type of semiconductors, arsenic, antimony, all those things. So those are combined with the pure semiconductors so that to form extrinsic semiconductors. Okay, so all concept will come, conceptual questions will come. Okay, and P type of semiconductors can be formed by adding third group elements, and N type of semiconductors will be you are going to get by adding the next group, that is the fifth group. Okay, pentavalence, fifth group elements. Okay, so that is the thing. Next we have pure semiconductors which cannot be used much, that's why we formed extrinsic semiconductor by adding dopants, we call dopants, doping, pentavalent, trivalent, acceptor, donor, examples, all those things must be clear. Now next we have, yes, now intrinsic semiconductor we have formed into extrinsic semiconductor. Extrinsic semiconductors are very useful. Okay, because at room temperature itself you have a number of more electrons or number of more holes. Okay, now but still the extrinsic semiconductor, say for example only germanium I am going to use, 1 electron or 2 electrons will be there. No, because for 10,000 germanium atom I am removing only 7 atoms and I am replacing with the tetravalent. No, So how much? 4 or 5 electron I may get. Or say for example 70, it is 10 is to 7 ratio like that. 10 to the power 7 is to 1 ratio. Okay, but we are not getting much electrons. That's why what we are doing is we are forming a p-n junction. P-n junction. What do you mean by p-n junction? P-type of semiconductor where positive charge is more, and n-type of semiconductor where negative charge is more, that is combined. As soon as you are going to combine, what is going to happen? Negative n-type, p-type, negative charges are there, they will come here combine with this, positive charges are becomes negative, no? This hole were there, that is filled with the negative. That hole were there filled with negative, 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 negative. Fixed it is. Okay. So now extra electron was there, it is gone there. Extra electron was there, gone there. Extra electron was there, gone there. Now how long it will take place? Because number of electrons are there, number of protons, number of holes are there, not proton or positive charges, holes are there. Now do you think everything is going to combine? No, it is not like. As long as this region is going to increases, further motion of the charges is going to be stopped. Who will stop? This region is going to stop further movement of charges, and that region is nothing but depletion layer. Okay, this is nothing but depletion layer. Why it is depletion layer? Because it is depleted, it is not having any mobile charge carriers. Okay, it is having immobile charge carrier, that is called depletion region. It is having immobile charge carriers, that's why it is called depletion layer. Okay, as long as, and because of the depletion layer, immobile negative ions are there, immobile positive ions are there. Positive and negative means one potential is generated, and that is called barrier potential. What do you mean by barrier? It does not going to allow you pass through it, there is a barrier. Okay, here also this is the barrier potential, here also this is the barrier potential. Okay, what is the thing is, it is acts as if like a barrier to further motion of the charges, mobile charges from one region to another region. Now what are all the things we are going to study? Barrier potential, immobile ions, and p-n junction, depletion region, depletion layer. Okay. Now what is the potential is generated there? For different elements, different potential is generated, and this p-n junction itself we will call it is p-n junction diode. We will call it is p-n junction diode. Two ends are there, no? Two ends. So p-n junction diode, it is a device, semiconducting device. Now if you ask what is the barrier potential for germanium, that is 0.2 to 0.3 volt. What is the barrier potential for silicon? That is from 0.6 to 0.7 volt it would be. Okay, 0.6 to 0.7 volt, that barrier potential is there for silicon. It means silicon and silicon, p-type silicon, n-type silicon you are going to combine. P-type germanium, n-types of germanium you are going to combine. Silicon itself is a pure. Now you have made it as extrinsic. You have combined it. So that becomes a region, and this is the thing. This data is very important for you. This data is very important for you. Now this diode, you can connect it to a battery, that is external battery. Already it is positive holes are there, number of holes are there, already here negative ions are there, but they can't move because one potential is there created because of the barrier, I can say because of that barrier or because of the depletion region. That potential is nothing but barrier potential. Now positive is there, negative is there, it is in this way. Now what happens? Forward bias we are going to call it is forward bias or reverse bias. What do you mean by forward bias? What do you mean by reverse bias? P type is connected to positive of the battery, N type is connected to negative of the battery, that will be the forward bias, and P type is connected to negative of the battery, N type is connected to positive of the battery, that becomes reverse bias. Let's see what is the speciality of the forward bias and what are the key concepts are there in the case of forward bias. Now forward bias means definitely we are going to connect in this way and negative charges are moved here, no? Positive charges are moved here. Okay, already positive is there, more and more positive you are going to become, but more and more not positive charges are moving, more and more negative charges, like this it will flow. Now already negative is there, it negative increases, one negative slowly comes here, it becomes negative, positive is there, it becomes negative, positive is there, whatever the lost electron is there, no, it will get now. What is the lost electron to this region, no, it will get now. What is the lost electron to this region, no, it are going to get now. Now what happens, everything going to become negative, negative, negative. Now still you are going to supply more and more negative charges, more and more negative charges. At certain point what happens, whenever already 0.7 I said, say for example it is for silicon means 0.7 volt, whenever this potential is increases to 0.7, this is going to break this, I should not say it is break, it will like overcome that barrier potential and it will move and total it becomes a wire, simple like wire it will become. But unless and until you are going to apply more and more than 0.7 volt, this current is not moving, okay, because barrier potential is there, it does not allows. After that it is going to allow if more than that means, okay, that is what is going to happen, and this is for forward bias. And if you write down the graph for the forward bias, what happens, that is called forward bias characteristic we are going to write down, always I versus V, along y axis I we are going to take, along x axis we are going to voltage. Now voltage you have increased, there is no current, voltage you have increased, there is no current, but as soon as the voltage 0.7 is increased, you are going to get the current, okay, this is called knee voltage. That is knee voltage for silicon diode is 0.7, 0.6 to 0.7 it varies. For that is based on the production, okay, any voltage you can produce based on the doping, okay. Now for germanium 0.3 to 0.4 like that, just now I said. But if it is in reverse bias means what is the case, that is called reverse current. Now what happens, positive is connected to negative end and negative is connected to the positive end. Now your positive charges are not moving, negative are moving, see already positive holes are there. Earlier, as soon as, listen here carefully, as soon as the junction is formed, this electron were coming and binding these holes. Now what happens, they are not coming from this side, they are coming from this side and they become positive, 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 immobile ions, negative, sorry, positive holes were there, they are negative, getting electron, no, negative immobile ions they are going to get. How long it will take place? As long as there is holes are going to fill, it takes place. But still, do you think that after filling it will stop moving this electron? No, it won't stop. You have switched on, no, it continuously moves. Finally what happens, here now everything is filled, everything is filled, they will store here, they will line up here, okay. At particular point what happens, these charges are going to increase and they forcefully pass through this junction, and that time your diode is going to break in the sense it may burn, because large current is flowing after certain value, and that voltage is called breakdown voltage. That voltage is called breakdown voltage, and that's why we are writing it in third quadrant, okay, that is negative voltage, negative current, or positive current, negative voltage, in that way. So here it goes, your current will be not there, current will be not there, at particular point highest current will be there, like this. This voltage is called breakdown voltage, that will be large. And for the ideal case, for the ideal diode, in the case of reverse bias, there is a what I can say, maximum resistance, or I can say infinite resistance in the case of reverse bias. In the case of forward bias there is no resistance, very less, because it acts as if like a conductor itself. Now these are all the concepts they are going to ask as a conceptual questions. Okay, remember that concept once or twice you study it is very easy. Easiest way of studying and very easy these points are. Now you have avalanche, this is called avalanche breakdown also, reverse breakdown means avalanche breakdown, and also you have a special kind of diode that is called Zener diode, and Zener diode is the special kind of diode which is used to act in reverse bias itself, and this is what about forward bias and reverse bias. Now this diode, I will come to the Zener diode part little later. Before that we have to study some of the important things in the case of this. Now what is the uses, what are the uses of the diode? What are the uses of the diode? Diode can be used for the rectification. Diodes can be used as a detector. Diode can be used as an electronic switch. In many ways diode can be used. The first thing we have to study as per the syllabus is the rectifier. So what do you mean by rectifier? What do you mean by rectifier? So this you are going to give, that is rectifier is nothing but which convert AC to DC. Rectifier is nothing but is the rectifier is a circuit where you are going to convert AC current into DC current. What do you mean by AC current? AC current is always changes its magnitude, and DC current is always, DC current you are going to get what? The constant thing. Now you want AC current in this way, you will be having variable, but you have to get a constant current or constant voltage. How you have to get? Constant voltage, okay? Constant voltage. How you are going to get? For that AC current we are giving two diodes, okay? So we have connected in this way. You are going to get output. This is rectifier. So two diodes at a time you are going to use, D1 and D2, and center tap to transformer you are going to use, okay, like this. It will reduces the voltage and will come. Now positive is like this means negative will be here, negative will be like this means positive will be here, like that it is formed. Now positive, negative comes means this is positive, this will conduct, you will get the voltage like this, and if it is negative means this will come positive, you will get the voltage like this. So you want to get the straight line, no, but you are going to get like this. The output of the rectifier is not actually a DC current, it is the AC filled with the DC, which is having ripples. We are going to call it is ripples, means pulsating DC, pulses are there, pulsating DC. Okay, it is a pulsating DC. Now how I can convert that AC current into DC current? How I can convert that AC current into DC current? If you ask me, the efficiency of the rectifier is, for the half wave rectifier it is 40%, and for the full wave rectifier it is double of that, 80%. No, in that way, because only single diode is used in the half wave rectifier and only half wave is can be converted, but in the full wave there are two diodes are used and the full wave can be converted into what? AC converted into DC. AC is converted into DC in that way. Now many circuits can be used, that is called pulsating DC. Now this can be converted by using filter circuit, where you are using this pulsating DC. Again, that pulsating DC you are going to give for the circuit which is having a capacitor and the resistor. Capacitor AC can travel but DC won't travel. Now here DC is also there, AC is also there. This much is constant, this much is constant. What I have to get? I have to get like this, or I have to get like this. No,
So that's what happens. From filter circuit, if you give means AC will travel with the capacitor. AC can travel with capacitor, means positive means negative, negative means positive, like that it travels. But through resistor, AC can't travel. But DC does not travel here, DC travels here, so that you are going to get this voltage. Okay, so that is nothing but ripples will be gone and it will be like this. Again, lot of physics is there, because the charging and discharging capacities will be different. Charging will be slow and discharging will be very quick. Okay, slowly charges, discharges, slowly charges, discharges, like that it is. So that you are going to get. Still it is not a AC. For that, other circuits you are using. Okay, after filter circuits you are using filter circuit. This is also a filter circuit, and that can be converted, that filter circuit, after this is called filter circuit, filters AC and DC, it will filters. After that you are going to get what? This can be given into this pulsating DC, again with ripples given into the Zener diode. Now we are going to talk about Zener diode. Zener diode is a specially prepared diode. Okay, so now what happens? You have to get, see, it is 6, this is 6.2, this is 6.3, sorry, this is 5.9 and this is 6, this is 6.3. It varies with like this. Now Zener diode is the diode which is the highly doped diode and which is always used in the reverse bias. Dear students, it is used in the reverse bias. See, Zener is like this. Zener, the diode explanation, or diode symbol is like this. And I hope I have informed you that this is diode, this is P and this is N end. Okay, that you have written. This is N, this is P. Now positive is connected in the reverse bias, it is always connected in the reverse bias. If it is connected in the reverse bias means how? Like this it will be. Now what happens? This is having a special character that it does not alter any voltage. Already biasing voltage we have to give here. Okay, some voltage you have to give. Okay, already some voltage you have to give. This Zener diode, it does not alters the where is the voltage, it will give the constant voltage. Means now this is designed, that is based on doping again, that is designed to give only fixed voltage. Say it is 6 volt Zener diode. We are going to talk about their forward bias characteristics and the reverse bias characteristics little later. Now it is 6 volt means, if it is 6.1 means may vary through this, but here 6 only you are going to get. If 6.3 5.9 means also 6 only you are going to get. Such a variation, because doping level is there, inside some voltage is there, that will be compensated with that. That will be compensated with that. So this kind of variation can be, that point variation can be minimized by the Zener diode, because Zener diode is used in the reverse bias as a voltage regulator. Remember, as a voltage regulator, it will regulate the voltage, it will regulate the voltage, and this does not allow us to increase or decrease that 0.3, 0.1 percentage of that. Now Zener diode always utilized in the case of reverse bias, or it is connected in the case of reverse bias. Okay, now how we are going to connect in the reverse bias, and how will be the forward and reverse bias characteristics of that. See, this is always voltage, this is always current, this is always current, and this is always voltage. Forward bias Zener diode will be same as that of the normal diode, but in the reverse bias, whatever the voltage you are going to give, it does not get, you are going to get the constant voltage like this. Okay, you are going to get the constant voltage in this way. Okay, even Zener diode also, Zener breakdown takes place. So this is same as that of the reverse bias diode itself, but doping level is more and the voltage is more. Okay, now your adapter is there for the mobile phone, you have to get 0.7 volt means Zener diode of the 0.7 volt, or 3 volt, 2 volt you have to get means 3 volt, 2 volts, what a Zener diode is done. Their rectifier is there, their filter circuit is there, after that Zener diode is there to give your mobile phone fixed 3 volt or 4 volt. 3.1 also no matter, your mobile phone is getting 3.1 only. 2.9 also no matter, your mobile phone is getting 3 volt only for the charging. Why? Because Zener diode is balances like that it is. Okay, that is what it is designed. And if the breakdown in the reverse bias, what happens? It breakdowns takes place. No, means large voltage you are going to increase means suddenly the current is going to get, suddenly you are going to get the current, maximum current. That time maximum current, now wire is there, maximum current passes through it means it will burn. No, there is a limit for the wire. Even the same way for this diode also there is a limit. For this diode also there is a limit, and that limit is some value. Okay, because that will be more actually, 7 to 8 volt like that. After that again more if it is give means it can't bear that current, so it will breakdown takes place. This is about Zener diode and other circuits. Okay, we were talking about competitive exam classes, in that we were talking about semiconductor electronics. Already we have discussed about junction diode, and we have discussed about rectifiers, and we have discussed all other things. Now some of the topics we were left, and that we are going to discuss. So mainly we are going to talk about junction diode. So what is the applications of diode, and what are the types of diodes are there, and what are the conceptual questions they may ask in these concepts. So now diode means a junction diode which is having a PN junction. For that forward bias and the reverse bias we have studied. And when forward bias means there is no resistance which acts as if like a normal wire, and in the reverse bias means it's as if like a heavy resistance, high resistance it will be having. Okay, now in the case of junction diode and all other different types of diodes are there. Maybe it is the Zener diode, maybe it is a light emitting diode, or maybe other different devices. This is all semiconductor devices itself. Now we are going to talk about LED, and before that we will we are going to talk about LED. So what do you mean by LED? It is nothing but light emitting diode. It is nothing but light emitting diode. What do you mean by light emitting diode? Light emitting diode is nothing but same. I can write down the symbol in this way. When PN junction, when forward bias you are going to give, it will emit the light. There are diodes which will emit infrared radiations also. There are diodes which will emit infrared radiations also. Infrared radiations we can't see, which is not visible. But light emitting diode in many areas in the electronics field we are going to use it. Now what is the cause of this light emitting diode? Simple. PN junction will be there, right? Holes and electron pairing takes place because it is in forward bias. What happens? Electron will go, all this electron will jump to the holes. Now in the material there are only some material you can use to prepare your light emitting diode, like gallium arsenide and other things. Okay, other materials are there. Okay, this can be used for our indium phosphide are there, silicon and germanium are the infrared radiation, infrared diode, IR diode. Okay, infrared diode radiations will emit. That heating radiation, heat which will generate heat radiations, those are nothing but infrared radiations. Okay, so hot body will generate infrared radiations. Okay, so your remote control and diode will be there, and all those infrared diodes. Now we were talking about light emitting diode. What happens is jump takes place. No, valence electron, in the case of conduction band electrons will be there, in the case of valence band holes will be there. Those higher energy electrons will jump to the holes and they will pairing takes place, and so that energy will be emitted in the form of what? In the form of light. Okay, for different diodes you will be having different color you may get. For green is different material, for yellow it is different material, different red. So usually red, yellow and white LED, like that it is used. Now why it is LED is used, what is the applications of LED, and that is very important for us. Okay, that is very important for us. So application over incandescent bulb is, there is nothing but in numerical displays. See, 7 segment displays you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 segment display. So in that switching on, switching off it takes place. So number 3 means in this way, these are switched off, these are on. Or number 8 means this way, all are glowing. Okay, number 0 means it like this. Number 7 means it in this way. No, like that. These are all LEDs. LED TV is there, television now. Small LEDs are there. Those are glowing. That is different electronics devices are there, but the electronics display LEDs are used. Calculator, digital display LEDs are used. Optical computers, okay, and optical communication. So indicator lamps, you can see in traffic signals and all, indicator lamp will be LEDs. And the decorative lamps also sometimes LEDs. In the decoration purpose also LEDs used. Burglar alarms LEDs used, and optical communication LED is used. Video displays, and that we studied, that is and cash register to see the machine is there. You are going to put currency notes to count infrared radiations. Detectors will be there, and they will detect. In switching on of the lamps, the detectors are used. Those are nothing but LED itself, or in variation, not only light emitting diode, maybe infrared radiation diode. The diodes itself are used. So many areas diodes are used everywhere. In the case of electronic gadgets nowadays, semiconductor electronics is used. That is semiconductor electronics itself. Everywhere semiconductor and semiconductor devices are used. Now what is the application of these LEDs? When you have incandescent bulb over, so low operational voltage, because DC current is used for that, and fast action, there is nothing like that, slowly it is glows, switching on. Even street light also nowadays LEDs only, because of the fast switching and least band gap, so that least energy is sufficient for that, like that. So semiconductors are used, or semiconductor diodes are used. Next, another type of semiconductor device we have, that is nothing but solar cell. Okay, so here solar cell is nothing but, so PN junction itself. So large number of PN junction is added. Solar cell is nothing but which will generate electric power because of the light energy. I can say it is a vice versa process, I can say, because in LED light is going to emit when you pass some voltage. Here what happened, when because of light falls on that PN junction, because of the photovoltaic, here what happens, because of the light energy, some electrons will get the energy and they will move. Okay, continuous takes place, continuous movement, continuous current will takes place in that way. So it is a cycle, no, it is a cycle, like that it will transfer the energy. So that solar cells, that is in solar cells we are going to use. Okay, also we were talking about solar cell. Solar cell is something, but again it is a semiconducting device itself, but there are photovoltaic cell or detectors are there. For that biasing voltage is used in order to function that. Okay, means say for example, yeah, positive and negative is there, some already voltage, fixed voltage is given, so that when the light falls it will create its own electric field, so current takes place, like that. That is photovoltaic cell, different cell. But solar cell is not nothing, that external biasing is not needed, just the semiconducting devices. Okay, silicon and other elements are mounted, or junction is thin junction is made. Now what happens, suitable radiations falls on that, they will create their electron hole pairs and they will travel, so that it can be stored here and it is utilized as energy and the cycle will take place. Okay, in that way. That is solar cell. Okay, simple. Here light energy is converted into electric energy. Light energy is converted into electric energy. So we can use the set of solar cells to charge the storage batteries in a daytime. These batteries can be used for the power during the night. in that way. So solar cells, many ways. So in street lights and all, already the solar cell, one cell is connected, one battery is connected there, which will charge us because of the solar cell there, and a detector will be there. Automatically when the solar light goes off, that will switch us on, that is because of detector. And solar cell, in the daytime it will be charges up like that. So solar cells are extensively used in calculators and wristwatches and the light meters, okay, and photography and all. Many ways solar cells are used. Solar cells also used in the artificial satellites, because for the satellites power has to give, so that solar cells are used. So this is the main two factors we have studied. One is your light emitting diode and another one is solar cell. Now your work is go and open the NCERT textbook. Tables are given, some values are given, all go through it. Some of the topics like transistor and all we are not going to discuss, may not be, okay, but some of the things a little bit about that we are going to discuss, as it is not there in the syllabus, but about other topics are there in the semiconductor, which is very, very important. Go through it. NCERT is very important, you have to go through it, all the tables, all the values which are given, and whatever the solved sums are there, go through it, so that you will get exact idea how the concept will be used. So here only the electronics part or some of the mechanism you have to study, and physics behind that you have to study in this topic, and conceptual questions, and in the digital electronics you are going to study. Next we are going to talk about some of the semiconductor devices and maybe transistor, and after that about the digital electronics, which is a very useful term today, or everywhere in the semiconductor digital electronics are used. Okay, so that will be we are going to deal in the next classes. Thank you very much for listening the class. Again go through the videos and solve the numerical sums. Thank you very much.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.